All right, let me see if I can see us online here. Test, test, test. We are going bootleg here. Yes, I think I see us right here. Yep, I think we're online. Yep, let me just post it. All right, why don't you go back and talk about um, Dexy while I post these.
All right, all right. So have you online?
Yep, we should be.
All right. So, yeah, please check Dexy. Uh, it's should be considered as a funny financial game at this point. Like I don't know, maybe hodl coin. But yeah, well, also sometimes you can get quick profit from arbitrage, right?
Who
Which
uh
is
who,
quite.
who made Crystal Pools? Can you talk about that? What's that exactly do?
C8. So Crystal Pool is a DEX aggregator, so you can work with many liquidity pools, Sigma USD Bank, Dexy Bank from the single application, and yeah, that's quite cool idea, I think.
So that
Uh,
means it's kind of like Dex Hunter, those kind of things where it finds the best price for you.
but here you also can interact with many applications from one UI.
Right,
So
right.
I don't know much about Dex Hunter, so these days I'm using Ergo DeFi. So uh, don't know much about Dex Hunter, all that stuff, but yeah, well, Crystal Pool is quite cool. Yeah, it's still raw, but yeah, well, it's getting better and better. Yeah, well, and the plan is to update Oracle Pool to version 2, USD Oracle Pool, and then launch Gleon USD. So Bruno has
Bruno.
such plan, and then Dexy USD. Yeah, so probably around September or something like that, because we need for some time to update the Oracle Pool first in the testnet, then in the mainnet and so on. So it takes some time, but some weeks even. But then, yeah, we can have Dexy USD. So it would be good also to find some liquidity providers right now. Yeah, so also going to work on that.
Nice, very nice.
Uh, And then, yeah, so with all those things, so Rosen is also going to bring some USD stables from Ethereum, well, the decentralized ones, uncensorable, let's say. Yeah, would be quite good. And then yeah, we need for stable to stable pools. So if you can do such stuff, it's the right time to do.
All right, I think I saved all the questions from before the internet toasting. So should we hit? Should we start hitting those? I'll read them to you since you can't see them. Sound good?
Yep. So let's. But maybe you have some news from your side.
Some
I think
some what?
news from your
Oh,
side,
you're right. I
like.
totally forgot.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, guys. So there's something cool that the info team's gonna be doing. And when I say info team, I mean me and Kushti and on BR in the chat. um,
yeah.
so the idea
Good team.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, right, right, right. So the idea is that we have the main Ergo platform website, right? That's Ergo Docs. We have Sigmaverse. We have the main Ergo platform website where Athena's hosted, that kind of stuff. And we have the Explorer, which is ergoplatform dot or explorer.ergoplatform.com or org. So how that works is that goes to a load balancer in Cloudflare, and that actually goes to three separate servers that are running on a hosted platform that is paid for by the EF, right? So in interest of, we all know the EF doesn't have an endless budget. They're not going to be around forever. So in the interest of actually taking that burden off, paying for that infrastructure, we're going to try something different. And what that means is I've already started building three new nodes on 6.1. I built them on 5.13 the other day, and I just updated them to 6.1, which is a ROX database, which loves SSDs nice and fast. Once that is done, I'm going to overlay Explorer on top of them as well, which is GraphQL API, as well as the web-based Explorer that you're used to seeing. Once that's settled and working well, I am going to add those all to the load balancer, right? And then slowly we'll start removing the hosted ones from it, right? And now you may be saying, okay, QX, what's the difference between you hosting three nodes on, an internet place with, same similar uptime as Hetzner or wherever they're hosted, if they're still the same place, still the same provider? Well, that's where this comes into play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put two or three of these machines that I'm using to host. They're 16 gigabyte RAM, i7, 1 terabyte hard drives with about 5,000 megabytes read write speed on the NVMe. So they're really fast. They should be able to be very suitable for this. I'm going to put them on MuMart. If you guys aren't familiar with MuMart, I'm going to talk to HQ if he's listening now. I'm going to only allow a certain token to be able to buy it. And then I'm going to decide who gets those depending on your interest and your internet availability, your internet connection, your static IP, your somewhat limited amount of dev knowledge. You don't have to be a dev, but you have to be able to jump into Docker and Tmux and run nodes and explorers. And the idea is that we want to spread three or four of these puppies around the globe. And we're going to add those as well to the load balancer so that Cloudflare will see the three machines that I have, and then they will see the three machines or four machines spread around the globe. So then we'll have a load balance of 5, 6 machines spread around the globe. So if all three of mine go down, then we still have those three or four hosting the same Explorer experience for you guys. So that's on top of Nautilus putting direct IPs into these rollovers for the API and the API or GraphQL, sorry, and the Explorer. So you'll hit one link, explorer.ergo platform, which will go to my Cornell ones. It'll go to these 3 or 4 or 5 locally hosted by these people with good internet connections that volunteer to do it, and will be much more of a decentralized kind of central node hosting, as if you want to call it. Everybody wants to go to the main Explorer kind of thing. So if we're going to be able to do that, let's do that decentralized manner, and let's not have it rely on funding from the EF. We'll have it rely on volunteers that want to do it themselves, which I think is true ethos of Ergo. So we're probably about a month away from maybe a full switchover for that. But keep an eye out if you're interested in running an Explorer/Node that's official and through the load balancer. Give me a buzz. We'll talk about it. Maybe I'll hand you a token if I approve, and you'll be able to get that swapped out on Umart for the shipping fee as well, added to that depending on where you are. Great. So I think that's cool, Christy. We finally get off that kind of thing and get to fully, even though it's an official Explorer.ergo platform, we can still target community nodes and community load balancers. So I think that'll be cool.
Yeah, sounds good. Would be happy to participate.
Oh, great. Right. You got one too. Fantastic. That'll be great.
All right.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, let's jump on the questions. So,
All right.
uh,
So Matt,
anything
yeah, we've
from?
got Mattis Bori. I think he's saying do. He's still trying to figure out Ergo adds new stuff so quickly. I guess he's trying to figure out how Ergo adds stuff so quickly. Well, I can speak from my own experience that the tooling here on Ergo is absolutely fantastic for the most part. To be able to dive in at different levels, whether I want to use a full SDK and use Scala, or I want to go into something much easier like Python, or I want to. There's even if Pulsar is watching too, he's tried to bring the app kit over to C sharp, I believe it was, as well. So, or maybe it's C plus plus. I can't. C sharp, I think. So there's lots of different options in interacting with chain. And not only that, but the endpoints are so easy to use. You can spin up a node really fast yourself, do a full index node, and if the API endpoints aren't in that full index node that you need, you can rely on Explorer, or you can say, screw it, we're just going to interact directly with a Postgres database inside that Explorer is keeping on top of the index node. So I've done both. It's very easy to interact with that kind of thing. So at least from a dev standpoint, that's a huge turn on for that. But Kushti can speak more to how he's so fast at dropping nodes all the time, updates, as well as, sub block integrations and cool stuff that you announce every so often.
Yeah, well, actually, it would be good to have more contributors to move faster because,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that it's possible. So yeah, well, I think it's about community, right? So, well, a lot of developers, a lot of independent efforts, and we need for more. I think, well, what do we have now, structure-wise, is quite friendly to scaling it up. So yeah, let's move faster, even like at hypersonic speed. Why not?
Let's see. Let's see. I can try to. Um, Let me see if I can bring up text here, Kushti. I think I can put questions on the screen makeshift wise. All right, let's see who else we have. Um, let's see, can I put this? Yeah, let me just make it smaller. Hang on one sec.
Oh, hi Kushti.
Yeah, yeah, almost there, Kushti. Hang on, it takes a second to shrink
Have,
this puppy.
have you
People are watching. Mm. This, da, da, da,
have
da.
you
Almost there.
read what the Alethea project? So just the title and yeah, I've put it into the reading list. So yeah, I guess I can provide some comments before Monday. Yeah, so yeah, it's in the reading list. But yeah, well, still need to read it fully, right? But yeah, well, I think, at least from the, well, the title and skimming the first page a bit, yeah, well, why not? So I think it's time to think and well, starting to build something like that.
All right, cool.
But yeah, well, I can provide maybe comments on the forum, or let's see. Actually, yeah, we will have what Ergo MA, right? So can provide some thoughts there. If not on the forum before, because well, next days are busy. But yeah, well, Ergo MA is also good. Yeah. And by the way, what time for anniversary MA is it set?
If Joe's coming, maybe it'll be an hour later. We'll see. I
One
That's
1 hour is okay. Yeah.
1 hour is okay for you. So maybe
Yeah,
2
yeah.
2 p.m. UTC. Let's do 2 p.m. UTC for AMA on the 1st of July, the kickoff of the
Yeah,
Ergoversary.
yeah, sounds good. And this Alethea protocol, yeah, so I found it our the Twitter yesterday. So yeah, well, I didn't have time to check in details, but yeah, well, we'll do in next few days. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, very cool.
So yeah, so many, and it seems it's some new author also, right? Some A Shannon, I don't know, maybe some anonymous guy, so some new account. in the GitHub also. I don't know. Let's see. Interesting.
All right, let's see. We got another question, Christy. It is, let's see. There we go. How can a privacy chain still aggregate statistics like Gini coefficient, allowing users to evaluate the market without sacrificing TX and wallet balance privacy?
Uh,
That's a question from Ursa Minor 2010.
yeah, but this is, I guess, nearly impossible, right? So if you wanna have some Gini coefficient for private chain where every balance is private, so I know. I mean, theoretically there could be solutions for like MPC, but practically not. Really not because yeah, you don't have participants which are willing to participate in such a procedure, even, right? Probably. It's not quite realistic to bring them into this MPC protocol, multi-party computation protocol. That's what I can think about. So you can also have I don't know, some centralized party gathering statistics and participants sending some zero knowledge proofs without revealing all the data, but yeah, it's also probably not a very realistic setting, right? Because if you have, for example, the richest wallet in the ecosystem, probably you wouldn't trust all this ZK blah 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 and
Right.
the centralized party gathering statistics anyway, right? Well, theoretically it's possible maybe, but practically I'm pretty sure not quite.
All right, let's see what else we have, Christy. We have, this is from our buddy Eiko. He wants to say, can you give a little teaser about your call you'll be having with Midnight? What's it about? Ooh, I missed this. What's this talking
Oh,
about?
so it's from some no, not so public chat maybe, but
Oh.
yeah. So the
Classic Eiko.
yeah, there will be some calling coming days, but yeah, about what is it about? So well, there is some plan, right? But it's probably quite obvious. So, there is interest from both sides, right? So for Ergo side, we are quite interested in privacy, right? In regards with maybe kind of private side chain, right? To have some maybe private contracts, right? So the idea is that you can transfer ERCs and then have some private contour. But then, yeah, well, there is some interest from Midnight side in regards with proof of work aspects and so on. So let's see what can we do together. Um, all right. So yeah, well,
Is that like you talking about like integrating or like I remember Charles said on um what's it called on Twitter at one point when somebody asked him, he's like, "Wow, Ergo can just become a partner chain," and that's how Ergo can be integrated with Midnight at some point. Is that what you're speaking about, or?
yeah, well, in regards with partnership, so I made a tweet yesterday that yeah, you can actually do some options like a merged mine sidechain of
Right.
Ergo, which is a partner chain of Cardano, right? And well, another option is double merged mine sidechain, for example, a merged mine sidechain of both Bitcoin and Ergo. To yeah, well, use Ergo as a kind of smart layer of Bitcoin with less trust assumptions, right? If there is support for some Bitcoin.
So
mining
Kushti,
pools
so Kushti, how's that
and
work? If we are we
um,
are we dumping like the full chain from Cardano onto into Ergo blocks on a side chain, or are we just like dumping hashes or proofs that calculate out to whatever the result of is on the other chain? How's that kind of work?
yeah, so it's about yeah, reusing validators from Cardano, right? And yeah, for this there is no need to know about the state of the chain, I guess, because yeah, they have some protocols for light clients, right? I forgotten the name. And yeah, it's probably can be reused. I guess that's the plan in the context of Cardano sidechains as well, right? Which is actually quite interesting because for most proof of stake chains, well, there are no such techniques, even to the best of my knowledge. Yeah, well, then yeah, it's quite interesting, right? And well, then yeah, you can do some interesting things also, right? When you have consensus from both Cardano validators and subset of Cardano validators and subset of Ergo miners.
So you're saying, but that's not going to technically make Cardano any more secure, adding proof of work that way, right? Because we're still relying on the proof of stake validation techniques
Uh,
in Cardano. We're
so
just writing it to our chain, no?
But yeah, so for sidechain, yeah, it's yeah, just for sidechain consents, right? But yeah, well, you will have somewhat better security budget, right, for both chains, so Cardano and Ergo, because of matched mine sidechain. Yeah, it would make consents more secure for both sides.
All right, let me put in another question.
Something like that. And yeah, this is actually quite interesting direction to discover, I guess.
All right, there's another question for you, Kushti. Kushti, when are we going to see you in a more relaxed podcast? More to hear about the story of Ergo. I think people want to see you. Ace Biko says Kushti on Rogan. Maybe they want to see you smoking a fat joint, Kushti, and just talking
Oh,
with squinty eyes.
all right. So yeah, about history of Ergo. I don't know. So maybe I need to write down some things first because well, the history is not quite known, probably, right?
Right.
Many actors are now quite forgotten. Some are not alive, unfortunately, even, right? Like Amitabh
Scala
and
Hub.
so. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. Well, actually, there were a lot of actors and a lot of stories. I don't know, interesting or not here.
I'm sure they're interesting, sir. I read
But
another. Yeah, sorry, go for it.
yeah, I don't know. So. Actually, it was mostly about engineers, right? Like doing something and the dreaming about something. So, well, it wasn't probably so even Monero, for example, was different, right? So, well, in this regard, could be comparable with Bitcoin early days, very early days, like Bitcoin of 2009, right? When they were only engineers, then now marketing folks and so on. I mean, Ergo before 2020, yeah. And then, yeah, well, somehow we got, well, saw some people doing marketing enthusiasts and yeah, well, all the community we have now. So yeah, that's quite amazing. Because usually it's these days it's quite opposite, right? So first you get marketing folks funding, right? All the hype, and then somehow maybe you hire engineers who actually, in most cases, hate the job they're doing. Yeah, quite opposite story.
Let's see. We got another question, Kirsty. Banging these out. Another one from Ursa Minor trying to get a grasp on things like Midnight. Can privacy stablecoin exist on a Sigma chain with proof of reserves in collateral on Ergo? They're just
Um,
trying to understand how people trust privacy chains like Midnight.
yeah, so recently discussed with Bruno stuff like that, like privacy, stablecoin, right? So there is private instantiation of Jet protocol called Zephyr. I don't know. So I think that they got into some issues at some point because of some bugs and so on. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend to use it without research and so on, because yeah, I don't actually know much about it. But yeah, so from what I know, so it's some fork of Monero, but with Jet, basically Sigma USD with some modifications implemented in the core of the chain, right? And for stuff like that, definitely it's better to just build, I don't know, some private side chain, right? And bring CQSD, so well, transparently issued and already known stable coin, right? Or DEXI, Gluon, whatever to this chain, right, and then enjoy well, privacy there, right? It would be simpler and more secure option.
All right. Let's see what else we got, Kirsty. We've got.
Oh, one more question maybe, and
No,
time to run, or do you have to run
I got a
today?
minute or two. It says Byron says if Kushti smokes, I'll buy another 1,000 erg next week. Guys, we want like a good 6.11 or a good 6.01 node. We don't want like Kushti security vulnerabilities in the node next time. All right, let's see. We got oh yeah, we've got this. Byron also asks, um, is there? Nope, that's the wrong one. Any updates on the meetup plan? It's funny you should say that. The meetup planning for Ergo. It's funny you should say that.
Yep.
We just had a Sunday meeting last week where we kind of mostly finalized a schedule, and I threw it in chat. Joe and I went over it pretty hard, and then I threw it in the main Sigmanauts chat and asked for feedback, and I don't think there were many changes. So later today, expect the meetup schedule and speakers and how it's going to stream to everybody on Twitter, as well as the GitHub and the Google sign up link. So you'll see that. If you're interested in coming and doing a meetup with us, then please come out to sunny Colorado Springs. I don't think the hotels are too pricey. I did a lot of looking at Airbnbs, and it's weird. Colorado Springs is the only place I've seen where it's hard. You don't really get a full house or a full apartment. It's like, oh, I'm an artist in residence and I have a house and come sleep in my spare bedroom kind of thing. There are a ton of those. So, uh, so those are pretty cheap too, like $100 or something a night. So if you guys
Oh,
are interested in coming out and spending Friday night and Saturday night with us, and all of Saturday and eating breakfast and taking off on a Sunday, please do. Um, there's going to be some good speakers and a live hackathon, a good hike at Garden of the Gods, and meet people in person um, that you just see in chats, kind of thing. So great, looking forward to that. Kushti, you promised once July rolls around, you're gonna go to the consulate and see if you can get here, right?
Yeah, so probably yeah, around July 2nd to 10th. Yeah, it will be known. Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one from Mark the Shark. I don't think you've ever seen this before, what it looks like, what changes he did. I think they're minimal changes to the node, but what would happen if Cheese started just putting storage rent
Sorry,
stuff into the actual
but
official node?
yeah, well, I don't know. I haven't seen
Yeah, I'll talk to Cheese
his.
about that. That's a great idea, Mark. Let's have Cheese see what it's like, and maybe he can put some pull requests in the official node, Christy. Is that something you'd be willing to consider?
Yeah, let's see. So, well, I need to check
As
modifications.
long as it doesn't break anything else, right? That'd be nice and easy. Because with the way that the SIGs pool are running it is we run a modified node, we run a modified mining core, and we run a the storage rent application itself, which is a script. So we run three things at the SIGs mining pool. Most big pools are most likely not running mining core. They're probably just running Stratum, so their own version kind of thing. So they'll only need the modified node and the storage rent kind of thing, like Hero Miners. I doubt runs mining core. So yeah, so putting the node just like turnkey would be amazing if Cheese could integrate his code into the official releases. Then we could just continue to stay up to date with the nodes, and mining pools could as well, and there'd be nothing we'd have to really do separately or wait for a sub release of that once like 6.0 or 6.1 came out. Awesome. All right, great. Well, Mark, suggest that to Cheese. Ping him, Mark, ping him now. Let's see. One more question we've got here, unless they keep coming. Here we go, Christy. It is from
Yeah,
By.
maybe
It's from
the
By.
last one.
All right, it's from Byron. What were the thoughts behind twin coins, and is that something still on the works down the line? Maybe Armenio.
Twins coin. So twins coin. Yeah, was a paper I've done along with Professor Hong Sheng Zhou from Virginia Commonwealth University. And yeah, well, it's actually a little bit theoretical result. So to make it practical, we need to modify it to. So basically, the idea is to have one proof of stake block after one proof of work, right? Basically, such a block structure, and yeah, to make it practical, I believe we need to do more. So it would be like, I don't know, sub blocks, but proof of stake based sub blocks, basically, right? So you generate blocks via proof of work, and then yeah, via proof of stake you decide who will generate sub blocks, input blocks, something like that. But then yeah, well, the whole security analysis needs to be redone. And yeah, well, so the main motivation was to show some security against 50+% attack, which is actually achieved. But yeah, well, aside of that, the protocol proposed is not very practical, not very efficient. Yeah. So yeah, no, no, because you're using another resource, right? So you use proof of work alo- along with proof of stake. So you need to have both, right? Not just proof of work in order to write a chain suffix. So yeah, then it actually provides better security. But yeah, well, again, to make it practical, there is need for more efficient construction. So yeah, well, maybe there is. Uh, there is a need, but for such a chain. But yeah, I think well currently there are well more actual requests, right? Demand options to implement. Even for example, a private stablecoin, right? So, well, it would be more appealing probably because, well, currently, well, in regards with consensus, there are a lot of options implemented, but yeah, I think, well, for real world adoption, so you need for a little bit different things maybe in the first place at this point. That's
Oh,
that's
I'm muted. I'm muted. Whoops, I forgot I was muted. You heard me, but they didn't hear me. Let me repeat that. I said that I said that what's it called? Thanks for joining, everybody. Sorry about the downtime. I said that's a beauty of Ergo and the decentralized nature. Even on things like this, where Andy's connection, who's the broadcaster all the time, goes down, there's the ability for somebody else. Like I just had to push a couple buttons and set us up in OBS, and we're live again. It's hard to kill the voice of Ergo or the Ergo stream or the Ergo blockchain at all. So super, super cool that we can just keep on cranking this stuff out no matter what. All right, Christy, any last words?
all right, all right. So. Um, See ya everyone around anniversary and yeah, busy days, but that's quite ordinary state, right, of things. So, see you around anniversary. So the summer is hot and yeah, well, after the really hot season.
Yeah, put
Uh,
those mining rigs in the basements, guys. Don't have them up on your main floor.
yeah, so yeah, well, keep in touch. Yeah,